Yeah. We live so much of our lives now online, it's inevitable that we have to divulge some personal information in the process. But that doesn't mean we should be held hostage to unscrupulous scammers.
My heart dropped. I can see the transactions coming out of my bank account, 5,000, 10,000. The horror,
I got done up like a kipper, basically.
In the last year, the UK has lost almost £500 million to internet scams.
I saw my balance and it said zero. I just felt physically sick.
I've lost all this money. You've not lost it, it's stolen.
The scammer's victims are left out of pocket and vulnerable.
It starts to make you doubt almost everything.
These guys out there know so much about me and I've not given permission for that.
I felt stupid, I felt like completely humiliated by it.
My mum Mavis and I are uncovering invaluable lessons for all ages as we look how to stay safe online and avoid the fraudsters' traps.
The more information that the scammers have on you, the more problems you have.
The bank will never, ever ask you to move money.
As well as meeting the people working to apprehend the fraudsters responsible.
Because we all need protection from the dirty, rotten scammers. Today, we will be discovering how fraudsters can hack our social media accounts, steal our identities, and cash in.
I've got a message, you're overdrawn at the bank.
Oh dear.
And I said, no, I'm not overdrawn, not me.
We'll be revealing the cunning tricks that scammers use to manipulate and mislead.
The fraudster's quite subtle here in making the victim feel as though they need to act quickly.
And this woman will tell us the catastrophic results of leaving your data exposed.
I felt shocked that I was a victim of this scam and as just how easy it was to use some basic details about me to set up an account.
We Brits spend over 6.5 hours a day browsing the internet. Over a quarter of that time is whiled away on social media. But as well as using it to catch up with friends, we also use it to chat with them.
Over the years, I'm sure I've probably sent you messages asking for a loan or for you to just generally help me out. Over text message, email, social media, haven't I?
I'm sure you have, Michelle.
Have you ever considered that it might not be me sending the messages, though?
Why would I think that if your name's just popped up?
Well, we're on our way to meet Christine, who got in touch after one of her social media accounts was hacked and a scammer contacted her friends.
Support worker and mother of two, Christine, has been on social media for over 10 years and uses it to keep in touch with her friends.
What is your Facebook activity like? Are you the type of person that's on it, that's posting quite often?
No, not really, not constantly. During the day, generally don't look at it. Sit down at night, have a quick look, but not constantly posting stuff. I might use Messenger to my son's football, they'll message me on Messenger, or, you know, if you see something on Facebook, you think, oh, that looks all right, that picture, I'll buy that.
In January, she received a call from a friend who alerted Christine to something unusual happening on her Facebook account.
Just got home from work and my friend phoned me and said, is everything all right? And I just said, yeah, everything's fine, why? I've got a message from you asking for £385 that you're overdrawn at the bank.
Oh dear.
And I said, no, I'm not overdrawn, not me, not me.
Sorry, I'm confused. So you've got a Facebook account?
Yep.
And somebody had messaged your contacts, your friends on Facebook, asking for money?
Yeah.
Pretending to be Christine.
So I just thought, give me 2 minutes, I'll try and get into my Facebook. Tried to get into it, kept kicking me out every time I tried to log in. It just kicked me out.
Who did these messages go to from your friends list?
It was last 15 people I'd actually messaged on Messenger. So 2 of them, I didn't even know them really because they were just selling things on Facebook. So they got a message.
Just out of the blue?
Out of the blue.
So they would have found it a little bit weird to get a message from someone they hardly knew, asking for money.
The hackers had managed to access Christine's account, message her contacts, and keep her locked out of the account to give people time to send them the money.
It took me 2 hours to get back into it. 3 of the people paid the money.
And people actually thought these messages were real, that this was you messaging.
Fortunately, one of Christine's eagle-eyed friends spotted something amiss.
And then my friend Lisa, she saw it and thought, that's not even her bank details. So it was her who rang me to say, are you all right? If you need the money, I'll come and bring you up.
So they actually believed it?
Gosh. 3 of Christine's friends were taken in by the scam, netting the hackers over £1,000. It's always worth double-checking that name and account details match. Confirmation of payee was brought in by most major UK banks in 2020 to help offer some protection from scams like this.
And how did they feel knowing that it wasn't you that had asked for this money?
I mean, the guy who sent it, he just said, I'll take it down to experience. One of the ladies was a colleague, and she messaged me that day and said, are you definitely paying that money back tomorrow because it's her mortgage money?
Goodness me.
It's an awkward one, though, because even though it's not your fault, like, if I was in your position, I would have felt bad.
She was devastated, and I just felt so guilty.
Now, Christine is looking for answers about how the hackers were able to gain access to her account and wonders if her lover's social media quizzes might be at the heart of it.
They've got snippets of what's your first child. So then when they find out what your first child's name is and then they're on the Facebook with you, they can look at his account then, can't they? And then they find out that you've got another one to see your pictures. And I think it's that way that they're doing it, I'm sure.
Quizzes where you're asked to reveal personal information are increasingly popular on social media, but they're perfect for scammers to gather information that could lead to your account being compromised.
I don't know anything about these quizzes.
We used to do it like, it's a way to get more information online, isn't it?
Is that a Facebook thing? Is that something that Facebook have put up there, these quizzes? Because I think it's a little bit sort of, you know, they're asking you a lot of information and knowing how the world is now, and that you're giving that information, so they're actually feeding the hacking giant, aren't they?
I don't know if it's Facebook that have put them on, it's probably a different... I don't know who.
Well, who? But you play these games, that stopped you playing them now?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
We've enlisted a team of ethical hackers to get to the bottom of how Christine's account fell into the hands of the fraudsters, who were able to rip her friends off for a 4-figure sum. Our hackers will help her be safer online and avoid being scammed again.
So what would you like to sort of find out about the situation that's happened to you and your friends?
Why had they picked me? Why mine? What made it so
easy
for them to pick me?
Well, this will be a real fact-finding mission, won't it? But hopefully we'll get some answers, Christine.
There's a challenge there for us, isn't there?
Are you up to the challenge?
She's always up for the challenge. Christine, I'm always up for a challenge. I've got her. She challenges me every day, don't you?
So kind.
Motherly love.
Whilst our hackers get to grips with Christine's case, I'm curious how the scammers were able to so easily convince Christine's friends that they were her. I'm meeting Dr. Elizabeth Carter, a senior lecturer in criminology and forensic linguistics. She understands that it's not just what you're saying, but how you're saying it.
What kind of patterns can we see from this particular case, then?
What the fraudster does is to try and keep things conversational, keep things a little bit light so they don't appear to be forceful, they're not demanding money. It's all very light. It's, you know, can you do me a quick favour? We're just seeing if you can help me. There's the use of kisses in the messages to make it seem like legitimate text messages or messenger messages. So it tempts the person to believe that what they're being told is true. There's nothing there, there's no alarm bells going off here.
It's tone and kind of, there's some key words and phrases within there, I guess, isn't there, that we should be mindful of?
The fraudster's quite subtle here in making the victim feel as though they need to act quickly. There's no mention, for example, of, can you give me the money today? What the fraudster does is say, could you loan me some money? I'll pay you back in the morning. Well, that means that the money has to be given that day in order to repay it the next morning. So it's all very subtle, very little risk because the person they're speaking to isn't somebody else, it's not somebody out of the blue, it looks like their friend. They communicate in a friendly way, very relaxed, conversational way.
It feels very realistic, doesn't it? It feels like something that actually anybody could send to a friend.
The bottom line here is that if you ever do get a message from a friend, from someone you know and trust, phone them, get them on the phone, speak to them in person or on the phone to verify what's going on. And if they're genuine, they will tell you whether it's true or not, and they won't mind having a conversation with you.
So it's clear we should always double-check before sending money, even if we think it's to a trusted friend. But I'm wondering what Mum would do if she found herself in a situation like one of Christine's friends.
Christine must have been absolutely mortified when she realised that a scammer had hacked into her account and was asking her friends for money. I mean, can you imagine?
I can't actually. I mean, it's shocking, and the thought that my friends were actually sending money would actually make me feel sick. I just feel like I just want to contact them all and say, hey, you haven't sent any money, have you? I'd feel terrible. You know, I'd feel responsible.
What if you were the person that had received that scam message and had sent the money over?
I wouldn't send the money over, Michelle. You should know me better than that. I don't send money anywhere.
OK, but what if someone had hacked into my account and I was messaging you and saying, Mum, can you lend me 100 quid, please?
Call me cautious, whatever you like. I'd actually pick up the phone and call you and say, Michelle, what's going on, love? Do you need something? Why have you messaged me over Facebook or text me? Just call me. I'd call you.
You like a good chat, don't you?
No, I like a good chat, but it would surprise me that you do that, and that's because I know you.
They're like cruel psychologists, like master manipulators, aren't they? And we can't even see them.
Cruel psychologists, Michelle, where did that come from? Did you just think of that?
Just came in my head.
That is absolutely amazing. They are cruel psychologists, but it is a very, very dangerous tactic that they use, and how you stop yourself from being sucked into that is very, very difficult. Sometimes when we receive an unexpected package in the post, it's usually good news. But in our next story, a surprise parcel left its recipient far from happy and out of pocket.
Lynn is a personal finance expert and blogger who mainly works from home. Like many of us, she regularly uses home delivery, but normally knows what's coming.
I had a knock at the door. I wasn't expecting a delivery on that day, but I do get random stuff turn up in the post. This was a package from Very, so I was, Very, don't recognise this.
Thinking it could have been a gift, Lynn dived in.
I was just thinking, this is exciting, maybe this is something cool for me. Opened it up, and it was 2 items. So one item was a security system that flicks on when somebody gets near the door. And then the other item was a multi-purpose garden hose that you can sort of spray in different directions.
Not really the gift she'd hoped for. It was time for Lynn to become detective. She contacted the retailer to try to get to the bottom of it.
They took some details from me, and then quite quickly they were like, there's an account set up in your name. It's got your date of birth on it, it's got your address on it. And then they asked me to confirm my email address, and that's when it transpired that it wasn't my email address that had been used to set up the account, a fake email address had been used. And they also checked the mobile number on the account as well, and the mobile number wasn't my mobile.
Somebody had managed to set up an account using Lynn's personal details, but with the scammer's mobile number and email. But how are they paying for this?
And they have ordered 8 items worth around £3,000. So I then had £3,000 worth of credit sat on my credit file.
The scammer had applied for Very Pay and had access to £3,000 worth of credit, which they had no intention of paying back. Another loophole the scammers used was to have the goods delivered to a click and collect shop 2 miles away from Lynn's home. Hoping to close the net around the scammer, Detective Lynn headed down to the shop.
It transpired that the CCTV wasn't working that day, so no evidence of the person going in to collect the items. So they walked out with their 6 expensive items.
Would Lynn ever get to the bottom of who'd run up a £3,000 debt in her name? And who was going to foot the bill? We'll find out later.
With bank interest rates at record lows, many people are looking at different ways to invest their spare cash. And one of the most popular investment areas in the last year has been cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are just like pounds, dollars or euros, but there are no pretty notes or coins. They exist purely online. However, real money has to be exchanged into cryptocurrencies before you can start trading. But this unregulated asset is a scammer's paradise, and reports of scams relating to cryptocurrency investments have surged by 57% year on year. We were contacted by Kaz, who works part-time as a COVID testing assistant. Being on the front line of the pandemic was stressful enough, but it got even worse for her with her first foray into online trading.
Well, my issue was with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoins. For a long time, people have been talking about it, but never took the plunge. So I thought, you know what, I've got a little bit of money that I could play around with. So I put in £500 in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and Coinbase, because I knew that I wouldn't earn much interest in the bank account anyway. And then within less than a month, that kind of like accumulated to £750.
Bolstered by her newfound skill as an amateur financial trader, Kaz was intrigued by an unexpected offer she received from what she thought was the company she was trading with.
I got this email to say that Coinbase were doing an IPO launch and if I wanted a prospectus, and we're giving away £750 worth of Bitcoins.
When a company goes public, the first and usually best round of share offers are called an initial public offering, IPO. Kaz checked online to see if this IPO was legitimate, and reassured by the chat in various financial forums, she signed up to receive a prospectus in the post. She wasn't committing to anything, and if she did decide to go with it, she may be £750 the richer.
2 weeks later, I got these text messages coming through. I clicked on it, clicked on this link, and that was it. Nothing happened, and didn't think anything of it.
Receiving a text with a link that apparently doesn't go anywhere is called smishing. But by clicking the link, Kaz had unwittingly let the scammers know she was interested in the offer, and therefore a target for the con.
But then I started to get all these phone calls. And I didn't answer the phone because I didn't recognise the number. I don't answer the phone calls if I don't recognise it. And then one particular day I was driving home from work and I answered the phone.
Kaz answered the call in her car by her hands-free technology and didn't really take on board what was being said. But it appeared that she had been awarded the £750 bonus, and all she had to do to claim it was to verify her account. But what this meant was providing her full login details. In providing this information, she unwittingly gave the scammers total access to her legitimate Coinbase account. Moments later, they cleared it of all her cash.
When I looked into my account and logged on, I could see that that 750 was pending, but I couldn't get hold of anyone to stop it or do anything about it. Next minute I went in, I saw my balance and it said 0. I just felt physically sick and I thought to myself, oh my God, I think I've just been scammed. When I went on the Coinbase website, it actually says in there, we would never ask for your verification, we'd never ask for authorization for anything. So if you ever get asked that, be careful because that'd be scammers. I thought, well, that's too late. I've done it now.
Now Kaz wants our team of ethical hackers to find out if she's potentially exposed to other scams. Meanwhile, I'm doing a bit more digging into the world of cryptocurrency. It's an increasingly popular way to boost your savings or your pension. But is it a safe place for your hard-earned money? I met with journalist and tech expert Jeff White to find out more.
Cryptocurrency is simply a digital type of currency, and that sounds very complex, but these days, how often do you actually see your banknotes and your coins? How often have you gone into the bank and said, can I see the money that's actually in my account physically? All money is increasingly virtual. And cryptocurrency is the same. You can swap your pounds and your dollars for Bitcoin or whatever the other cryptocurrencies are. And you can spend Bitcoin. You can actually buy and sell things using Bitcoin. And you can swap your Bitcoin back into pounds and dollars. That's how it works. The reason this is useful for hackers is if you think about it, when you open a bank account, they're going to ask, well, where does Michelle live? Can you give us some documentation? You need to give your right arm and one of your kidneys these days to set up a bank account, right? Well, cryptocurrency works completely differently. There's no identity, there's no human being identity attached to the Bitcoin wallet or the Bitcoin account that's used. Instead, this is done anonymously. Doesn't mean you can't always tie Bitcoin back to an individual, but sometimes you're really going to struggle to do that. And of course, for cybercriminals, that's exactly what they want. They don't want to give the bank their name, their address, their email address, and their phone number. They want to do everything anonymously. And cryptocurrency has created that world, and that's another thing that's fed into this boom of cybercrime.
So generally, would you say not very safe for people to invest in?
If you're investing in cryptocurrency, you're investing in something that has absolutely no government or official oversight whatsoever. That's actually one of the advantages of it for the people who really know about it and who invented it. However, it means if you lose your money, it's gone. Cryptocurrency can be extremely profitable, is extremely high risk. Unless you know what you're getting into, unless you've done your research and you really understand this stuff, do not get involved. And for the record, I've spent more than 10 years covering some of this stuff. I still feel hesitant about getting involved in investing this. This is not something I would put my money on, because even I, as somebody who's covered this for a long time, still see things with these cryptocurrencies that I think, hang on, I don't understand that. How can that be? That's not the case with my bank account, is it?
Having heard Kaz's story and Jeff's warnings, I'm not sure I'll be rushing in to invest in cryptocurrency. I wonder if Mum feels the same.
Have you ever done any kind of online trading or anything like that, Mum? You know, like cryptocurrency or that kind of thing?
No, it seems a little bit high-tech for me. If I'm going to have investments, I need to speak to a person, I need to talk about the investment, I need to look into their eyes, because they could be telling me that something's good for me and it isn't, and I think that interaction with the person is what I'd need to do. So, no, I've never done any kind of investment online. It doesn't interest me. I'm just about into online banking.
Yeah.
With a bank that I've been with for decades.
I don't think I could do a cryptocurrency. I just find it all a bit baffling, to be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, I believe, you know, if you get into the right investments, it can be very lucrative, but I think you have to be careful with things like that.
Really need to know what you're doing and what you're talking about.
And you need to do your research. You need to check the companies out on proper sites and just be very, very careful. That would be my advice. So I wouldn't do it even with my advice.
Me neither.
Earlier, we met Lynn, who was playing detective after fraudsters had set up an account with mail order company Very and had run up a £3,000 debt in her name. Goods had been delivered to a click and collect shop, but the trail had gone cold as there was no CCTV footage of the person who picked up the goods. Very suggested Lynn contact the police.
The police did all they could to investigate it, but the person hid their IP address, which apparently is easy to do. It was a pay-as-you-go mobile phone that had only been used for one phone call ever. The email address was just a dead email address. They just came to the conclusion they just couldn't work out who it was. They'd covered the track so well.
These fraudsters were experts and had got away with it. But what about the debt? And what would have happened if they hadn't accidentally sent 2 random items to Lynn's home?
If those 2 items hadn't come to my house, I wouldn't have known. I would have defaulted on the payments, obviously, because I didn't know it had sat there. So it could have actually been really quite serious repercussions on my credit file.
In the end, Very wrote the debt off. But Lynn thinks that they made it too easy for the scammers.
I think a lot more could have been done to protect me. I can't believe you can set up an account with a £3,000 credit limit just with a name, a date of birth and an address. That is just unacceptable that Very didn't do other checks, bank account checks, mobile phone checks, email checks. It's just crazy.
Very have said when assessing credit applications, Very.co.uk operates a robust identity and credit checking process. As soon as Lynn alerted us to suspicious activity, we blocked the account and opened an investigation. We made sure that there was no record of the activity on her credit file. We also helped her to register as a victim of fraud on the industry CFAS database, which should help to protect her from any further impersonation fraud. Whilst the money matter was settled quickly, the scammers cost Lynn and her family dearly.
There was a huge amount of time I spent sort of trying to unravel all the phone calls to the police and to Very. It's cost me money because I've had to spend the money on the extra security devices for my house. And I suppose just the mental strain of those few weeks where I was really quite worried that there was maybe one person out there who had sort of had some kind of thing against me, or you just never know.
Like our ethical hackers are doing, Lynn did a deep search into what info was available about her online. When she saw how much there was, she decided to have a serious online spring clean in order to reduce the chances of being scammed again.
One of the first things I did was go to Action Fraud. That is a website that sort of shuts down your credit details online. So if you are making any credit applications or if anybody else is making any in your name, it's really difficult to do. Lots of extra security questions are asked. So therefore, nobody else can take out any more credit in your name. I also went through all my social media channels, took all my personal details off there, date of birth, made my location a bit more generic rather than so specific, and switched off the location settings on my social media as well. I went through my Instagram pictures, which was painful because there's hundreds of them, to remove any sort of personal details from them, numbers of where I live, badges of schools, that kind of stuff. And then I also went to a couple of home selling websites and removed my house details from there, as my floor plans were on there, even though the last time I bought a house was 10 years ago.
And it wasn't only Lynn's personal details getting a makeover.
For my business, I set up a PO box, which costs something like £40 or £50 a year, another thing that's cost me money, but just to have my business address at the PO box rather than my actual house.
Having done all she can to protect herself in the future, Lynn's experience has left her bruised, but determined in her fight against fraud.
I felt shocked that I was a victim of this scam, and as just how easy it was to use some basic details about me to set up an account. I'm really passionate now about companies improving their checks and multi-layers of security checks when people are setting up accounts to avoid, these scams happening to other people.
Part-time COVID testing assistant Kaz lost £750 to scammers when she invested in a volatile new currency. Our head hacker, Ikra, has been rummaging around the recesses of the internet to find out what information on Kaz is out there that might mean she's still at risk from scammers. And she has some big news.
Ikra, hi. So tell us what you've got on Kaz.
With Kaz, we did find a frightening number of passwords out there.
Typically, passwords are exposed when companies have been part of a data breach, which is when information is taken from a system without the knowledge or authorization of the system's owners. And Kaz's information has been exposed multiple times.
It's the bane of my life, passwords, though, Ikra. It's very, very difficult just to sort of keep on top of your passwords. What would you recommend for managing passwords?
Well, people typically use something called a password manager. It's basically like a little address book or diary, but it's something that you can use to manage and store your passwords. And a lot of the times, these password managers can actually recommend strong, lengthy passwords for you so that you don't have to go through that extra step or thought process of trying to think of good passwords.
Well, we'll check in with you again soon. Thanks for the update.
Thanks, Ikra. Bye.
Christine had her Facebook account hacked, and scammers convinced her friends to part with £1,000, thinking they were helping a friend in need. But how did they get the information? Our ethical hackers have been hard at work, trying to uncover what they can about Christine's online life. And now it's time for me and Mum to present her with our findings.
Well, we've been busy getting loads of information together, haven't we? And what we've generally found is that the more data that's available on you, the easier it is for scammers to target you and convince you that they're legitimate. We spoke to a forensic linguist about the messages that your friends had received from the scammer pretending to be you. And she explained that the fraudster is piggybacking on your reputation and your credibility.
Yes.
And they do this to save themselves a lot of work, essentially, so they don't have to convince anybody of anything. The scammer here is saying things like, I was seeing if you could help me. Can you do me a quick favour? And actually, by saying the word quick, the scammers has rushed your friends into taking action straight away. They know that it's now or never. There's a sense of urgency there. They're making it clear that they need the money now. And also caveating it by saying, you know, I'll give it back to you in the morning. So it's such a quick thing, and they're being really helpful to you.
They've manipulated all the words that you, how you know, just like little messages that you put on Facebook. This is how she speaks. You know, I mean, sometimes, you know, you might say hun at the end of something, so they may put hun. Hi, hun.
So it's, again, like I said, it's really
but
clever.
They've done a really good job here, haven't
definitely,
they? I mean, you can actually see yourself in those messages, can't you?
It's just little words, isn't it? It's just phrases and things that make it easier for them. And they probably thought, oh, that is probably Christine, that is probably definitely her writing that. So,
Very manipulative.
But it wasn't just manipulative language that allowed this scam to happen. And we're worried that Christine may have left the door open to the people who hacked her account.
What are your security settings like?
I don't know.
You have got them?
No idea. No idea, really.
Do you have security alerts or anything like that set up?
No.
Well, there's something that this might be helpful to you. You can get login alerts. So essentially, you can see if anyone else has tried to access your account. Another thing is you can also set up a two-step verification on your phone. So in theory, no one can log in without you knowing.
Our hackers also found a trove of information on Christine that would be gold dust to a scammer.
Your full home address is available publicly on the internet via sites like 192.com. Is that something you're aware of?
I've never heard of that. What is it?
192 is a directory.
Really?
Yeah.
But
it's like the old directory, but you know, the yellow pages, and you'd have your address.
And your
going back years.
And that's the thing with this, you can do an X directory type thing. You can request to have those details taken off.
Right.
But at the minute, they are
on there.
available for everyone to. Were you aware of that?
No.
We also have some warnings for Christine about her love for online games.
You were also worried about the information you may unknowingly be putting out there when we were talking last time about, you know, from taking part in quizzes on
the Facebook. Yeah, when they ask for your mother's maiden name.
That's it.
What's your mum's maiden name?
They're even clever with what information they'll get from quizzes. Behind the scenes, the scammers, you know, will be taking that thinking, right, well, we know she does this, we know her kids are called this, we know she's got a pet named this.
Your first pet
and very often we'll use that.
Yeah.
You know, this could connect us to a password. It's almost making it an easier guessing game for the scammers to think, well, a pet's name's this. What is the likelihood that she'll use that as part of a password with 1, 2, 3 at the end of it, or exclamation mark? Again, it's just piecing it all. It's making it easy for scammers to piece things together, but it's disassociating your hobbies, your interests, your family, your friends from any password that you use.
It's more simpler than you think.
Yeah, I suppose it is. I think once you get used to it, it's just getting used to stuff, isn't it? Like, it's like a new way of doing something.
Exactly.
But we suspect the scammers accessed Christine's account thanks to our next discovery.
Finally, what we did find, Christine, is that your email address has been made available by not one, but four different data breaches.
A data breach is when a company is compromised by hackers and their customers' information is exposed online. This can mean everything from a date of birth to a password being available to scammers.
I think it's time to have a little shuffle.
Absolutely, Christine. A big shuffle. Change the variations on your passwords, contact the organisations, take that information down, change your email account.
Definitely do. It'll be nice to have no emails coming through.
Well, I think that would actually save you so much time, because if you spend your time deleting emails, just change your email and you won't have any to delete.
Yeah, and I don't need that email address. It was just easy to keep it because it was on everything.
It's not that easy, is it? You're deleting every day.
They've got your email address, they've got your phone number, they've got your home address, they've got your phone network.
Got a beautiful picture of you then.
I know.
Yeah. Going forward, make sure you contact the relevant organisations to take any details about your home address, your phone number, your phone network that are there online. There's steps that, you know, you can put into place.
What was the most surprising thing you've heard today?
That the email has been compromised so many times. So if you've got to change one, you've got to change them all. So definitely got some homework to do. First thing I'm positively going to do when I get home is email address. And then it's stronger passwords with no personal information in there at all, a random password. It's about wanting to keep not just yourself safe, but your friends safe as well. If you think about it, you're not the only person online, and there's thousands, and it just helps you peace of mind and makes you feel safe and secure.
Earlier, we met COVID testing assistant Kaz, who was scammed out of £750 when she decided to invest some of her savings into cryptocurrency. Scammers convinced her to hand over her account details and cleaned her out of every penny. Our team of ethical hackers have been hard at work, finding all the information available for Kaz to see if she remains a potential target for scammers. And now Kaz has come to see me and Mum to hear everything the hackers have uncovered, starting with her social media.
Were you aware that your mobile phone network provider and, you know, social media information was all out there for people to see?
Social media, yes, I did know, but I think that's controlled by privacy settings, and then Instagram, people can't look at your account because I've got it as private, so you have to be my friend before you can see my account. So I know about that because I don't want people to know my life. If you don't know me, why do you want to know my life?
Scammers will look at this information online that we're most of the time not aware of and weave it into a story, and that's why the example of your mobile phone network provider being out there, a scammer could use that and call you and say, hello, you know, we are from EE or Vodafone or whoever your provider is. And the fact that they've already got a small nugget of knowledge really helps them on their way with their scam. But one of the things you mentioned about the scam was how they called you whilst you were driving. Is that right?
Yeah. So I was driving and I had him on speaker.
And this is what's so interesting because they were catching you whilst you were busy. And what we know from speaking to experts in linguistics is that this is a classic scammer tactic. They are trying to catch you whilst you're busy.
Yeah, and put pressure on me that I had to do this before 10 o'clock.
Yes. If they create a rush and you haven't got the time to think, we know that people are more likely to just do what they say and not question it as much.
That's what I did.
But it's true, because it's amazing and horrible how they've tried to exploit you in this kind of way.
That's exactly what happened. What you've just said is now thinking back, that's exactly what I was going through at the time. The thing is, like, I've never been scammed in my life, and I like to think like clued up, a little bit careful. The fact that I let my guard down, it's quite upsetting. And I just stopped out somewhere. I'd literally parked up and I realised, oh my God, I've just been scammed. And I thought, I just wanted to cry.
You didn't let your guard down. They were pushing you. You were busy. Everything was happening around you in another, and they were exploiting every second of your emotions and the situation you were in at that time.
Now, a worrying thing we did find online, Kaz, was your date of birth and your full home address. Did you realise that anyone on the internet, including scammers, can see this?
Oh, I didn't. I'm really shocked that they can. Address, especially, I don't know how they could have. Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, now, you've said it, because I used to have company accounts, so under the company accounts, I've noticed that when I do a search of myself, other people can see my address to say so-so. Kasim Ghani, director of this company, was address, home address. Damn.
So your details would be on Companies House. You can actually contact Companies House and have those details taken down.
Oh, can you?
Now, we also found that your details have been involved in 14 different data breaches. So that's led to your private information being exposed online. We believe that the scammers have got access to data like your email address, your phone number, usernames, and probably more. It's exposed publicly.
Wow. Actually, I feel quite violated that somebody can have all that information of me. You know, that's something private to me.
But there's more. Our hackers have found something else Kaz would have preferred to keep private.
If you want to turn that first card over, just here. Any of them.
Oh my God.
Is this a password you've ever used?
That was one of the passwords I used to use. I've changed it now.
So this is a password of yours that's been exposed in a data breach. It's available publicly for scammers to use. You're saying it's an old password. Are you certain it's not on any accounts currently?
It's not on any accounts.
Okay.
That's good.
It's been changed.
That's good.
We actually found 4 of Kaz's passwords that are on the internet due to a data breach. You can check if your email address has been a part of a data breach via websites like haveibeenpawned.com. And if your password is ever compromised, change it immediately.
I mean, what do you think about everything we've told you and presented you with? Kaz.
It's quite overwhelming when you just think that you're being secure and there's this information out there.
I'm just like mortified that someone actually can have how clever these hackers are to find this information. 2, I didn't realise that they could grab so much personal information about me, which means they could actually probably duplicate my identity. Obviously, the 14 breaches has kind of like hit a nerve, thinking, wow, these guys are out there, know so much about me, and I've not given permission for that. And that's what's the worst part.
So this is a positive change. This point
No,
will
it
lead
is,
to
definitely.
you
I
feeling
think
a lot safer.
I was going to be saying that to my friends and everything, because I'm going to say, you don't realise what's going on behind the picture. I've learnt quite a lot here today, and I think I'm going to go and, I'm going to let them know.
It's good. You'll be like an online safety marshal.
I am.
Yes, I like that one, Michelle.
The first thing I'm going to do is start making a to-do list of all the accounts that I have existing out there. Maybe do a search on myself and see what companies are holding my information and start getting rid of them and getting them taken down.
Kaz was really surprised at the amount of information that was out there on her. She wasn't expecting that, was she?
No, she wasn't. I think we just assume that information is private.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to remember that every detail that we post online could potentially be used against us. So take a moment to check what information you're uploading, because what we don't want is it falling into the wrong hands. How secure are you online? Get smart on scams with the Open University. Learn more about cybercrime and how to stay safe on the web. Head to bbc.co.uk/scammers and follow the links to the Open University.
Bury a long-standing rivalry and catch a killer. There's brand new crime drama tonight at 9 on BBC One with Sherwood. On iPlayer, high-octane adventure with Freddie, Chris and Paddy, and the new series so far of Top Gear. Watch now.
We're investigating the murder of a local resident.
Were there any